Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Let's take a walk and go see what's in the fridge today. Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Oh, we got a wax cap bottle here. That usually means it's a kind of pricey beer. Usually it means it's pretty good beer on top of that. This is Mowgli, or Mowgli, M-O-G-L-I. This is from Caldera Brewing Company, and they're out of Ashland, Oregon, all the way over across the United States on the West Coast. And California, Washington, Oregon, they produce some really tasty beers. I'm a big fan of the West Coast style IPAs. This is an Imperial, and I have two different things here. Rate and Beer Advocate has the regular version listed here. I didn't see their barrel aged version, and it's got a different picture too. Got the same dog, but the picture Beer Advocate's got is, I think it's their standard version. Still the same ABV at 8.5%, and that's what this one has on the label. I don't see a date anywhere on it. It's not super critical for, let me read what's on the bottle here. Mowgli, oak-aged Imperial Porter brewed with chocolate. Caldera Kettle Series, limited small batch release. Caldera Brewing Company, Ashland, Oregon, 8.5%. Don't see any kind of dating on the label, and don't see anything on the bottle. Now, at 8.5%, this beer is going to keep for a while. It's not critical to have a month, day, and a year. I used to say I wanted to see a year on this for the vintage, but I would like to know what the month that they put it in there too. Also, we don't need a day. It doesn't matter. Whether it's January of 2011 or January of 2013 or January of 2015. Just would like to know that in case I wanted to purchase multiple bottles and maybe do a vertical of a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old, or whatever. That's just my opinion, guys. That's my opinion. But usually when you see this wax cap on the bottle, usually means it's a pretty pricey bottle. It's not cheap. Anytime they put these beers in a bourbon barrel or barrel age them, they get more expensive because they're taking up space somewhere in the barrels. And depending on how long they leave the beer in the barrels, will usually determine, especially on a first run barrel, which means it's never had beer in it before, will determine the price of the beer. So usually when you see these wax cap bottles, you're not going to pick one of these up for $3 or $4 or $5, more than likely. If you do, you're damn lucky. And if you see one and it's got a wax cap on it and it's an Imperial Porter or Imperial Stout, snatch it up, because more than likely it's still going to be pretty damn tasty. But when they do this process and they got somebody at the end of the bottling line dipping each one of these bottles in a wax, it usually means it's going to be a great beer, and it usually means it's an expensive beer. This was given to me by my good friend Evan, and he's lives here in the Roanoke Valley. Good friend, just met him, I don't know, probably 4, 5, 6 months ago, and he's brought me up several beers since we first met. And actually we sat out on the deck and smoked a cigar and had a beer. But he is, I don't think he's had quite a few beers as I have, but he's getting into the beers. Turned him on to Martin down to Barrel Chest. He was buying his beer somewhere else, and since then he has visited Martin and the guys down there and made some purchases down there. Martin's got a great thing going on. and has a really nice shop, and he carries wines too, but mostly what he carries is craft beers. And at the back of the store, he has like 10 to 15 different craft beers on draft, and offers a little bit of food to go with them if you want to sit there and have a snack and drink a nice craft beer, or if you want to go in and grab a craft beer and walk around and shop for beers while you're sipping on a nice craft beer. Nobody else in the Roanoke Valley does that. Very unique to the Barrel Chest, Martin and the guys out there. Very nice beer store to go visit. You can have a very nice craft beer and sit there and talk to the people at the bar at the back of the store, or you can get up and go shopping and buy some beers while you're sipping on a nice craft beer. Very nice. Very, very nice. You got a good thing going on there. So thumbs up to Martin out there at Barrel Chest. Got a very nice store, very nice operation going on there. Like I said, Beer Advocate's got a different picture on the bottle than Rate Beer does. Rate Beer has an actual listing, got the picture of the actual bottle that I have here with the wax on top of it. So kind of got a feeling they made two different versions of this, guys. So one that didn't have the wax on it, it hadn't been bourbon barrel aged, and one that has. Beer Advocate doesn't have a differentiation between those two that I can find. So let's see what this one brings. Evan, thanks again, brother, for bringing this up to me. Not had a lot of beers from them. I may have had one or two from them, but it doesn't, after 17, almost 1,800 beer reviews, guys, I can't remember if I've had anything from these guys before. And like I said, they're out of Oregon, out there in Ashland, Oregon. So they do some really good stuff out there. So commercial description on this one, guys. IBUs, it says here, is 55 on this, and 8.5%. Caldera Mogli was inspired by the loss of a dear friend. This is a chocolate, bourbon, oak-aged Imperial Porter. So that means oak-aged. It says bourbon, oak-aged, so I'm assuming that the barrels were bourbon barrels. Mogli is complex, sweet, chocolatey, big and full of unconditional love, sure to warm your heart, served in a 10-ounce wine glass. Malts, premium two-row, crystal, Munich, brown, pale, chocolate dark Belgian, candied sugar, natural chocolate bourbon-soaked oak spirals. Hops are Galena, Willamette, ABV is 8.5, IBUs 55. And that's the commercial description on this one, guys. So, to me, it sounds like a wonderful beer. It really, really does. Food pairings for this style of beer. American Porter is what they're calling it. Cuisine is your barbecue. Cheese a buttery brie good Havarti Swiss. And it says here, since it is a porter or a stout, it goes well with your chocolate dishes. And the meat is beef, smoked meat, and grilled meat. Anything off the grill with a nice beer like this is awesome to me. The glassware, the pint, Becker, Nonic, tumbler, mug, Stein, and Seidel. I'm going to use a double glass for this one, guys. It's got the same tulip shape that the Sovereign beer glass guys have. So I like using these style of beer glasses to drink my beers, especially during the beer reviews, because the shape of the glass enhances the aromas. It's just a plain old pint glass. So it says here, not recommended for extended cellaries unless the ABV exceeds the average range. 8.5 exceeds the average range. This beer is going to keep for quite a while. 3, 5, 10 years or even longer if you sell it correctly. So another reason why I would like to see the month or the vintage on the bottle. So in case we want to buy next year's version or the year after version or the version they do 5 years and you want to do a vertical, and unless they're changing the wax color, you won't know because some of the beer companies do that. Ellipson does a lot of different color waxes for their beers. So if you go to their website, it may actually say the 2011 had this color wax, the 2012. Rate Beer or Beer Advocate doesn't mention that. So I don't know if this is the only time they've done this particular version with the white wax. I do not know. I'm ignorant. I don't have any idea. I do not go to the websites usually, guys. I base everything on what I'm tasting, smelling, and the aromas that I'm getting. And just to give you a little background information, I do use Beer Advocate and Rate Beer. So Let me have the knife here so I can slice the wax on this one. And while I'm doing that, I will say, Evan, thanks again, brother, for bringing this one up to me. I'm a big fan of this style of beer, guys, with the bourbon and the barrel aging going on. So we've got a nice slice going on there. Get the opener and get the cap off of this one. Oh, nice hiss. Very nice. Make sure none of the wax is loose. It's going to fall into the beer. Don't want no white wax, no paraffin with my beer. Alright, let's get it into the glass, guys. 22 ounce bomber here. Let's see if we can generate a little bit of a head on this one. Not pouring pitch black out of the bottle. And I'm going to save the other half a glass of this since it is in a bomber. I'm a big dog fan. It's got a dog on the front here. It looks like some kind of Labrador. Big dog fan. I love dogs. Had dogs 30 years or more, guys. Had males and females. I'm a pit bull kind of guy, but since the last two passed away, we decided not to replace them, and we've been doing a lot of traveling. That's why y'all been seeing me going to California, Florida, and Sturgis, and all these places over the last couple of years. We don't have a dog here in the house. It's kind of lonely. I do miss them. I do. I would rather have a dog in the house, but it's hard to find somebody that's going to take care of a pit bull. I mean, unless somebody's going to come visit you all the time or they're familiar with it. Nobody wants to take care of a dog. And as far as putting them in a kennel, homie, don't play that. I did that one time, and both dogs came home with kennel cough and was sick, and I just don't do that. So we're going to enjoy traveling on the motorcycle and do what we do until we get old and incapable. Then I'll get another dog. So, but I'm a big dog fan. I am. I love dogs. All right. As I've been flapping my gums, the head is dissipated. We're down just barely covering the beer. And a lot of bubbles in the glass. And this glass doesn't show a lot of light through it, especially as one solid bulb, not like the solvent beer glass. It's got that little skinnier part down at the bottom. But there is a little bit of red ribbonness around the outside of the glass. It is not pitch black coming out of the bottle, but it looks black in this glass. I'm not getting a whole lot of light through the outside of it. So let's get a nose on this and see what we got. Oh, wow. Chocolate is really coming through. Big chocolate notes on this beer. Wow, that is impressive. Of course, it says on the bottle it's brewed with chocolate. Brewed with chocolate. Oak aged Imperial Porter brewed with chocolate. But it does mention in the description here, not on the bottle, but there's bourbon involved here, so don't know. I'm not getting big bourbon on the nose. Chocolate, rich roasted malt. Big sweetness on the back end. Hints of some dark fruit in there. But the chocolate is off the chain. I mean, you definitely tell that they brewed this with chocolate. Bittersweet chocolate. Wow. Smells impressive. It's time. Let's give it a taste. Let's get it on. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Evan. Thank you, brother. Ooh. That is wonderful. That is awesome. That's freaking awesome. The ladies would like this beer. Big chocolate notes. And you chocolate lover, guys that are chocolate lovers, wow. This would pair very well with a dessert. Chocolate cake, chocolate pie, cookies, brownies, anything with chocolate in it. This would pair very, very well. A couple of big scoops of chocolate ice cream in there. Ooh, wow. That's delicious, guys. That's freaking delicious. And I'm going to look at the bottle. I'm going to pour her the other half of this in the glass. And when I come back in the final check, we'll check the bottle one more time for a date, but I don't think it's going to have one. That is so smooth drinking. If by chance they keg this and it's available in a pub or a bar that you're drinking at, you could get in serious trouble with this. I'm not getting any of that 8.5% alcohol. Very well made beer. Very, 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 very well made beer. That is delicious. The nose, the chocolate on the nose is nothing compared to the taste of the chocolate you're getting on the mouth. You're getting it on the nose, but it is definitely heavy on the palate. This is so easy drinking. I could pour the rest of this in here and sit here and drink it right in front of you as I'm talking. It is that smooth. No alcohol burn whatsoever. Very well made. Right on the verge. There's a fine line there, guys, between an imperial porter and an imperial stout. The red rubiness, as I'm pouring out of the bottle, as opposed to a black opaque pour out of the bottle for a stout, is basically the only difference. I have had stouts the same color, and I have had porters that were darker than this. It's really up to the brewer or the brewery what they want to call this beer. It could be called a stout, it could be called a porter. But since it has that light red rubiness coming out of the bottle, and if I poured it in the solvent beer glass, you would probably see that red rubiness through the bottom thin part of the glass. But the double glass doesn't show me that. So, very tasty. Very, very tasty. Well, let me pour her a glass and sip on this one for a little bit, and we'll come back and see if we can find the date on the bottle and get a final chug and grade on this one. Pretty damn tasty. It's pretty impressive, guys. Alright guys, I'm back. Been sipping on it probably about 30 minutes or so. Great beer. Great beer. If you're going to spend your hard-earned money on a wax top or wax sealed beer of this ABV or this specialty of a beer, you would think they would have a date on it somewhere. The beer's not going to go bad, but my personal opinion, guys, if you're going to spend $15 to $25 on one beer, a bomber, that's had wax, somebody at the end of the bottling line taking the time to dip it in wax, but there's no vintage on the bottle. We need at least a year. A month and a year would be even better, to let us know what vintage it is in case we want to do a vertical. We want to buy a 2013 and 2014 and 2015 edition of their beer, especially of this. The beer is awesome, guys. It is freaking awesome. If you're a chocolate lover, you would love this beer. The chocolate is off the chain. I mean, the chocolate is the biggest aspect of this beer. It is awesome. There are some dark fruits in there, rich roasted malt, a nice balance of the hops and the malt that's used in this beer. Very, very tasty. Evan, this is a great beer. It really is. Caldera Beer Company, thumbs up for the great beer you're producing here. Thumbs down for not putting a vintage somewhere on it. If you're going to do a wax top bottle, in my personal opinion, it deserves a date on the label somewhere. Not even ink on the bottle. Whether it's in white, black, yellow, or whatever. If you're doing a specialty beer here, which is not a cheap beer, I don't know what Evan paid for this, but I know it wasn't cheap. I mean, I would not be afraid to say this bottle was $15 or more. Maybe even up to $25. If you're spending that kind of money, you deserve the date. At least the vintage, what year it was put in the bottle. My opinion, just my opinion. Final chug. The aroma and the taste of this beer is freaking awesome, guys. If you're a chocolate lover, this is awesome. I'm pouring it down my face. It's running down my beard. I don't want to waste it. It's that tasty. Probably got it all over my shirt. That sucks. Wow. Bittersweet chocolate is this bowl. It's freaking awesome, guys. For a chocolate imperial porter, it's right on the money. It hits the nail on the head. It's delicious, guys. This saddens my heart. They would go to the extent of aging this beer and wax coating the top of this beer when it comes off the line and not put a vintage on it somewhere. Whether it's ink or on the label, there's nothing on this bottle. Didn't go to the website. A lot of the times their website will tell you the white wax is this year, the red wax is this year, the blue wax is this year. Did not go there. You should not have to. If you're spending that kind of money for a 22-ounce bomber, it should be somewhere where you do not have to look it up or go to the website or whatever. You shouldn't have to jump through hoops to find out when the beer was put in the bottle, especially something of this magnitude, something especially this pricey. Like I said, don't know what Evan paid for this, but I know for a fact it's not a cheap beer. It is a very pricey beer. So, with that being said, that's my 2 cents. Just wanted to throw that out. As far as I'm concerned, guys, this beer is definitely an A beer. It's so close to the 10 beer for what it is, with it being a chocolate imperial porter. I wouldn't be afraid to say that I would probably give this beer a 10 for what it is if it had a date on it, but it does not. So for me, it gets a 9 out of 10, and I hate to do that. A lot of guys say you shouldn't cut the grade because it doesn't have a date on it. Horse hockey. If you're going to go in the store and pay between $15 and $25 for a beer, don't you want to know how old it is or how long it's been in the bottle? I do. It's me. If you're not one of those, more power to you. But I'd like to know what vintage it is. I might want to buy 2 or 3 of these and sell them, but this would prevent me from doing that, not knowing when it was put in the bottle. So, 9 out of 10 for me on this one, guys. Had a date on it, I'd probably step up to the plate and give it a 10. So it's a 10 beer in a 9 bottle. No date. They're going to take the time to have somebody at the end of the line to dip it in wax, but they don't have time to put a date on it. At least the year. A month and a year would be better. Don't need the day. If they're going to tell them it's done in January of 2015, that's fine. Or January 2013, that's fine. They might do it twice a year. I don't have any idea. It says here that it's a rotating schedule, so I don't know how often they do this beer. Maybe the one and only time. So I have no idea. Don't have enough information to give you that information. So I'm going to leave it at that. It's a 9 out of 10 for me, guys. A 10 beer in a 9 bottle. I would if it had a vintage on it, I would probably give it a 10 because it is an excellent chocolate porter. So very well made. Very well made. I will add that. Over to Beer Advocate, they say 93, outstanding. It is. It is an outstanding. If you'd like a chocolate flavored or chocolate infused beer in this style, which is an imperial porter, it's awesome. It's awesome. Over to Rate Beer. Rate Beer says overall 99 and 94 in the style. So it's 90s all around, guys. It is an A beer. No doubt about it. And like I said, I would step up to the plate and give it a 10 instead of a 9 if it had a vintage on the bottle. So, Caldera, what's going on there? Y'all can't afford a dating machine, but you can afford to pay somebody to stand at the end of the line and dip these in there, and you can afford to put it in a barrel and age it, but you're not going to take the time to print a date on the label or on the bottle somewhere? That sucks. That really sucks. I would have a problem, and I'm very appreciative to Evan for picking this up and bringing it to me, but I would have a problem paying what he paid for this without a vintage on it. I would. I really would. Don't know how long it's been in the bottle. Especially if you're going into the store and you see it. Wow, that looks pretty impressive. Wax on the top. 8.5%. Chocolate infused. Sounds pretty impressive. How long has it been on the bottle? How long has it been on the shelf? Y'all have any idea? So with that being said, guys, if you've had this one from Caldera Brewing out of Ashland, Oregon, let me know what you think. I thought it was freaking awesome, guys. It would be a 10 beer if it had a vending donut. So let me know what you think, and come on back tomorrow. Let's see what we can dig out of the fridge. See you then.